Hi, folks. Great to have you guys here over here and take out the time to come listen to us, and hopefully we can impart some knowledge that these experts have gained over the years. So, just a little bit of context about what we're doing today. This session is about leveling up your festive campaigns. So, it's about how Sanad and Akanksha can help you utilize your WhatsApp, email, and voice channels to level up your campaigns, and basically how you can use this festive season to boost your sales and make it an actual success. So I'll give it over to Akanksha and Sanad now to do a little bit of introduction about who they are, what they do, and then we'll move on to some questions, some presentations, and some tips and tricks.
Good. Kansha, you want to go first? Yeah.
Parking के लिए.
Okay, sure. So, hi everyone. This is Akanksha. I've been working with Netcore for over half
कहाँ
a
से आता है रोज सुबह मैं तो जब आती हूँ ये वाली भी follow होने लग गई है अब तो यार.
Hey, Anshika is on mute. There's no webinar that is complete without a person not
Yes.
being on. Good omen. Okay. So, yeah, I've been with Netcore for over half a decade. I usually work with product solutions, pre-sales team. Major job, of course, involves day in and day out sitting with a lot of brands, decision makers, executioners of MarTech platforms. ID help them solution and understand their current needs, their current KPIs, and how digital channels can ideally help them solve those problems. I over the decade have worked for both the India as well as international markets now, Southeast Asia, Australia, Thailand, and few of those. So yeah, I come with a mixed bag of experience and markets as well.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Anyone has any questions for Akanksha before we start? Really tough crowd. Okay, let's move on to Sanad then.
I'll just reintroduce myself for those who have joined over the last 2-3 minutes. So the name is Sanadh Srivastav. I'm a growth marketer on most days when I'm not speaking at some webinar, trying to juggle between influencer marketing, all sorts of organic marketing, events. Events is the place where I have met Mitul and Nanda throughout all the association. I work for a couple of brands called Heyo Phone and My Operator. So these are into cloud telephony, SaaS brands at the end of the day. Have been with them for almost 4 years now. And I'm a sales and marketing guy in a very, very layman term. Yeah. And I do anything, so to speak, which is not performance marketing, content writing, or SEO. उस सब के लिए we have like 2-3 other people in the team. Rest anything that is there in the marketing domain usually falls in my kitty. So I'll be able to help you with again omni-channel strategies as we want to talk about today. What all we do at Heyo Phone, how we have scaled that app from 0 to 2 million plus downloads over the last say 1.5 years or so. I think that is something that I can share with you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Shall I start, Mitul?
Yes, Akanksha, I'll leave this to you now. So Akanksha over here has a little bit of a presentation to get us started with to set the context for how you can level up your campaigns, and then we'll move on to a bit of Q&A.
Sure. What I'll do is I will share my screen, and in case there are questions in between, I mean, of course, we can take a pause, or rather, we can also, you can either put it in the chat or maybe note it, and we can address all of them one by one as we go. So I'm gonna share my screen. A quick heads up if it's visible to everyone.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So you can just keep on adding in between. Perfect. I think I'm not gonna spend much time in setting the context of the conversation, but as already mentioned, this festive season, right? We have Navratri going on, we have Diwali upcoming, then we're gonna go to Christmas. The idea here remains, how do you leverage on this time, right? Or how do you deliver, making sure that you use the entire multi-channel marketing, automation, communications, and a strategy to leverage on this golden period of time. Is Diwali, and it's truly a golden period for the entire digital world as well to capitalize on. The reason why we say a golden period, right? Why this time matters a lot is because it's festive season, right? Where the sentiments are high in general. Everybody wants and is in a mood to shop. Everybody's in a mood to enjoy. Everybody's saving up for this time, right? So, and that's what the data also states, right? Like usually, festive drives up to higher spending. People save up. Yeah. People save up to make sure that they buy electronics, clothing, etc. So basically, you have annual sales, which are usually around the same period of time. And there are people who would actually postpone on their shopping for the seasonal period, right? Because they know that there will be an amazing offer for them. When we look at the markets, right, there is up to a 40% growth when it comes to e-commerce market, just in general, right? And there could be multiple factors associated to it. And we will deep delve into the same. These could be simple discount, maybe an ad or a limited time offer. But why this works, right? And why is this working at this point of time is very crucial. And hence it becomes a golden period to enjoy as well. Well, there are multiple emotional triggers, right? As I mentioned, festive as well as discounts and channel level impacts. You can actually leverage on the high consumer activity, holidays, them being more active on notifications, WhatsApp, their SMS, their voice calls. That can actually grow to the wider reason on why customers are more prone to shopping and more prone to being more active online. Now, this is more from a sentiment perspective, but that's what even data says, right? Like for this year itself, and this is Meta's data, but the total value of goods being sold online, the market is going to be of 90,000 crores. Not just that, if you look at the shoppers' experience, right, be it in terms of ads, 52% of shoppers will want to see more relevant ads even if they have not actively searched for a product. Now, this is a very peculiar behavior, but it's very important to actually see that this means customers are more open to shop with you, right? 54% more shoppers are open to seeing wider variety of products. That means you can actually, this is a good time for brands to increase their product catalog or introduce a new product or launch a new product in the market for that matter, right? And 56% of shoppers prefer discovering items which they are not actively looking for. And that is also widely associated to their sentiment that they have. Meta states that the buying intent is 52%. Of course, I mean, because of the shopping and because of the ad relevance, it's heightened because of that. There is more openness that the brands have, as well as emotional connections that my customer has in terms of invoking feeling, nostalgia. That sort of adds up a lot to making sure that the customers are buying. And we all wait for the entire year for the season to come, right? And that's why there is a sense of urgency. It's a limited time offer, limited time to enjoy, as well as limited time to shop, because there are multiple offers which will be over after a point of time. So the idea here remains that from a premise, we understand that all customers want to shop more. All customers are open with their wide arms to ideally see more content, see more products, and ideally evaluate more. That is on the number of products that they have. Along with that, the shopping conditions also favor them because it's a better discounted market. So in this market, if you as a brand do not offer a discount, and I'm not saying necessarily a price level advantage, but rather some value addition that will draw your customers' attention to your brand, then you will lag behind because everybody is at their A game. People are out there to spend. That's what the data says. But now it's you and your brand's responsibility to make sure that you put your best foot forward. Best number of products, entire product catalog, and then intelligently using data to make sure what to sell to whom at what point of time and at what price point. This is what will ideally define and differentiate you from any other brand out there in the market. Well, gone are the days when you should only use a channel to ideally reach out to your customer, right? Now we've overused this word, but There is nothing like the power of omni-channel. Right from showing a relevant ad on their social media to going ahead and showing a very personalized homepage banner such as this one, which Fab India is showing, or let's say a specific website level personalization. So Misho ideally is going ahead and creating a category of product for you this festive season, right? Or rather a specific email with a nice Diwali code for you to make sure that your next day delivery is in time. All of this matters a lot in creating the entire user's experience right from the start and making sure that their experience across channel is consistent. Now, I mean, enough is enough when we say that we cannot go ahead with one channel and we cannot go with a non-personalized approach. What you see in front of you is ideally the conversion rate and the conversion rate increase post personalization. Now, these are stats relevant for different industries, but none of these industries are going to stay back in the Diwali season, right? It's relevant for each and every industry to personalize the product they are selling to their customers, right? And in fact, that's the stat and the Netcore's benchmarking e-commerce report also says. But brands that have actually incorporated personalization are witnessing a simplest increase of minimum 31% in their conversion rate, which sort of makes it very, very different in case of a non-personalized scenario. Taking a quick pause, or maybe in case Sanadh wants to add on to some of this.
One thing that I was just noting on this particular slide, and while you shared it earlier also, was that the fact that the average number, if everybody sees it, so irrespective of what all industries you are from, which will be great if you can add to the chat that which industries we have in the audience. You see the average growth with personalization is around 25-28%. The idea behind this is when we say omni-channel, we don't just want to talk about that, okay, take a particular message, blast it over all the channels that you work on in terms of marketing, could be email and then voice broadcast or WhatsApp or even ads. The idea is not just person to person personalization, of course, set wise. It's also that when you have different channels, personalize according to that. Something that goes in a WhatsApp message may not cut it for the email that you're sending. An email would need a really totally different sort of approach, right? Same thing when you run an ad on Facebook. Now, of course, you can write the same text that you send on a WhatsApp notification in the ad copy or ad body, but then that won't make sense and you'll not see good results. So personalization, not just in terms of different types of customers or target audience, but also for different channels is something that you should keep in mind.
On that with the with you on the point. I hope there are no questions up till now. Maybe I'm just quickly checking the chats, but yeah, Mithil, just help us in case there's a question.
Yes, if there are any questions, I'll let you know.
Sure. Now
And if you
we
guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there is a react option in front of all of you at the third option. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise, raise your hand or a request so we can just mute you.
yeah. So now we've already understood the power of omni-channel. We've spoken about personalization and how important it is to go ahead and personalize on each scale. What should not stay behind is the power of AI, right? And how do you leverage it? Because there will be multiple data points and data sources that you would be using, right? Now, what I have in front of you is just a simple banner from Amazon, but it stays the deal of the day, right? Now, the idea here is how are these deals or how are these offers getting used up, manipulated as per my customer's behavior on the website matters a lot. Because if you treat, as we said, right, every customer the same, it's not just about the product, but also the price. That is very important, specifically in India, right? We are a very, very price focused market. So that makes it very important to make sure we use power of artificial intelligence as well as data to leverage the dynamic pricing, right? It is relevant for every industry, any startup, and the in the company you're representing. But the idea here is you have to use dynamic pricing, either in terms of the time, it is a limited time offer, or in terms of a sale ending in a specific point of time. So you can maybe use a timer in your notifications, in your email, WhatsApp, or voice, right? But making sure that you are able to understand and analyze the behavior on website. If you see that I have a peak traffic, let's say in between 12 to 2 in the afternoon and then 4 to 8 in the night, you have to make sure that you offer very competitive pricing at that point of time. Whereas you need to leverage on a time when, the traffic is not so great. And that is when you tell them that, hey, we have a discount only for the next 2 hours, right? So that is ideally how do you manage the traffic coming on your website, as well as you offer that competitive pricing to the customer. Now, that's just not relevant to the price, but also your inventory. Today, the data lies in front of you, in front of the machines, right? They can very easily tell you what are your high demand products, what are the products from the last 5 Diwali sales, which were the best sellers, which did not sell well, which had a very high stock rate as compared to some which were out of stock, right? So you can use that intelligence to actually smartly price your product. So you can increase the amount of price for the products which are already in high demand, and that's not an unfair way to go about it, but rather a very intelligent way to manage your inventory and also make the best out of this festive season. And of course, goes without saying, but if there are products which are overstocked, let's discount them as soon as possible. And we just don't use basic science, right? Like today we have platforms, marketing automation platforms such as Netcore, which can predict this behavior for you. It can predict your customer's lifetime value. Now, if you see that a customer has a higher lifetime value, they should get a nice discount in the Diwali sale and a different loyal treatment as well, right? As compared to someone who would only shop during the Diwali sale. And similarly, you should make sure that you're able to understand the affinity of the customers in terms of the brand they like, the product they like, the category they like. Because we all need to be cognizant of the fact that we sell a lot of products, right? There are multiple SKUs, but your customer cannot buy everything, right? They will shop for you with you. That could be one of the guarantees. But what and at what price, what product and at what price is what you can use AI for to predict this behavior. This is actually Netcore's segmentation engine, which today can predict the brand affinity across the category of the product, a catalog of your brands, where it says that it's very high for a Dior, Armani, and a Van Heusen, and I want to select and see which are these users so that I can reach to them on their preferred channel mode. So it has to be a very beautiful amalgamation of usage of data, usage of your product catalog, as well as the usage of artificial intelligence to optimize everything, because you don't want to give discount without using the intelligence, because that will only make you or make you end up in a lower or a very poor looking closing bucket of your bank statement, right? We do not want that to happen. Rather, we want it to be a healthy win-win situation for both customers as well as the brands. Now, when we look and talk about channel strategy, right? Like, of course, you can go with the most basics of it, but the idea here is you have to maximize on the innovations. And one of the innovations that we really wanted to emphasize on and speak about today was the power of inbox commerce. That is basically interacting with your customers while they are using their email, their WhatsApp, or many other channels. But majorly these two are the hot selling cakes. Email, because it's the highest revenue generating channel, and WhatsApp because it's the highest responsive channel that there is, right? Now you see two examples in front of you, and the first one, of course, is for going ahead and booking a ticket, but from Redbus, right? We have gone ahead and actually implemented this. Now it's an occasion specific. You can change it for any other occasion as well, but it's basically making your customer play a game inside the email, which makes it very, very interactive, right? Instead of sending a simple static email, now you are actually giving a customer a reason to interact with your email, which makes it better to be opened, better to be clicked. So a high response and interaction rate, and also engagement becomes higher, which leads to higher conversions. Second, what you see is an example from Myntra, just for their budget bazaar Diwali occasion that is. Now you can see Myntra has carefully understood that there are 4 to 5 product categories that Akanksha as a customer has to purchase, right? Now this is a simple swipe up Instagram feel like engagement, but it's actually come to me over an email, right? And it has actually given a 254% higher engagement to Myntra as compared to a static email that they were sending to their customers. You need to leverage the power of innovations such as inbox commerce, as well as recommendations inside email and WhatsApp to make sure that your customer interacts better, to make sure that your customer can, make sure that the customer is able to, you stand apart in terms of everybody else in the market. Now, a few more tactical strategies, right? Now, what I showed to you previously is more attractive ones. But once customer is in the buying funnel, if they are searching for a product here, maybe inside the email, you can provide the product level details. You can actually give them a code or an offer inside email, such as a scratch card, to make sure that they get a reason to purchase with you, which is ideally very advanced from a static email that you're sending to your customer. And once customer has paid or rather placed the order, you can actually make sure that they can real time track, because we all know, right? The real fun is not just in placing the order, but tracking it, right? Like when it's coming. And we've seen those multiple memes where you see people standing just outside their windows and the door for the deliveries to be coming and waiting for them. So the idea here is make sure you just do not rely on traditional channels such as an SMS to track. Rather, customer can or rather opening the website, going in the order section to check where my delivery is. Rather, a simple email, and in real time, your customer can track where their order is, and in fact, even give some delivery instructions, which makes it very quirky and makes your email stand out with the competition. I have certain success stories for you. Carrot Lane, a Tanishq partner already made sure that they use the power of inbox commerce, interactive AMP emails to display their product category. Jewelry, oftenly bought very high in times of Diwali, ideally stands apart, and it has a very specific requirement, right? When you're buying offline, you have the entire time to see the jewelry, the detailing to it. Online, you want the same. And an email was never able to justify to it, right? But now, in this specific email, you can actually tap on the product. You can see every detail about the product which is present here. And this, by the way, campaign is already implemented, and we have seen a 300% uplift in the engagement because the customer actually found this very interactive. And this is just one such examples. The same can be replicated for WhatsApp as well. Now, there are multiple scenarios and examples where we can speak about, but let's start with using the first funnel of my interaction, which is lead generation as well as lead qualification, right? If my customer sees an ad on Instagram or Facebook, I want to make sure that I give them a very compelling CTA chat on WhatsApp, because a banner is not enough for me to purchase. And that is exactly how you leverage your WhatsApp as a channel today to start the shopping experience, and make sure that the entire experience is complete inside the WhatsApp body itself. So customer can start with dropping in their lead. They can start with the process of registration, giving their identity. So if they have joined you via WhatsApp, they've already shared their phone number and consented for the same. But you have to also make sure that you leverage this channel to improve engagement. So on WhatsApp, I also ask customer for the email. So I can now reach out to them on inbox commerce of email as well. Then I ask them, okay, tell us what product categories you're interested in, what offers would you like to see? And that is a nice way to collect the first party data of your customers. Now, I hope you're all aware, but the third party cookies are going away. And because of Meta, WhatsApp, all of them being end-to-end encrypted, it becomes important that you collect the first-party data. The birth dates, the anniversaries, the gifting season of Diwali becomes very, very important to make sure that you can recommend better products. Now, one of the simplest questions here could be, who are your family members whom you want to give a Diwali gift? And if it actually says my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my husband, my wife, you can actually give a very personalized catalog of the products in the WhatsApp body for my customer to shop from. And that is how you can leverage the power of first party data to show relevant products to your customer. And I think I don't have many slides per se, but I wanted to cover a few of the very relevant examples. And WhatsApp being the one which covers end to end, right? Right from the discovery of the product to considering that's my entire user's life cycle of purchase, right? Considering to buy the item, making sure if customer did not purchase, I send them a re-engagement WhatsApp message that, hey, you should not forget to check the curated collection just for you. If my customer checks it, I can ideally make sure they go ahead and place the order, track the order, everything inside WhatsApp itself. And WhatsApp is not the only channel, right? As an innovation, you also have your AMP, you have your GIFs, you have your countdown timers, and one of the channels, of course, is voice, right? And I'm going to invite Sanadh to just add on to this in terms of his expertise. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to, like interrupt you here, but thanks, you give the opportunity by itself. That in terms of WhatsApp only, I'll take a step back and talk to people about WhatsApp in terms of CTWS. So these ads that you see on Instagram, which lead to chat to WhatsApp, are called CTWS, click to WhatsApp ads, right? I really can't emphasize enough on the usage of these ads. If you talk to anybody at Meta who takes care of WhatsApp business APIs or WhatsApp business at large, they'll tell you that this is one of the most underutilized asset that WhatsApp has to offer. Why? Because this gives you, as Akansha said, first party data. You will have a very hard time asking people for their number in today's day and age, because there is a lot of scam going on for almost everything, right? So people think twice before they fill up a form on the website where you ask them for a number. As long as you're asking for a name or maybe an email ID as well, they're happy to give it. But numbers are tough. CTWAs are your access to a person's mobile number, his WhatsApp number to be very specific, on like for everything, for very in a very easy one-click way. Now, what that does is, as all of this is mentioned on the slide, from that consideration stage to the re-engagement after the purchase is done, everything will happen on WhatsApp. It can be very personalized. One, you can take payments if you have those APIs integrated. You can even take payments within WhatsApp. So essentially, you really don't have to leave the WhatsApp ecosystem, something that people are very used to, they're hooked on to in today's time. That is why WhatsApp and CTWAs specifically is something that you should 100% include in your performance marketing strategy, or how we like to put it, conversational marketing strategy, right? In terms of conversations, there is another thing that Kansha asked me to highlight is the voice broadcast. So you often see uh, these political parties do this a lot, right? They send you these automated IVR messages that you receive on your phone call that I am so and so. This is I'm asking for a vote. I'm from your constituency, so on and so forth. An example that I can give from my own personal life is my car service is due somewhere around 25th of this month, and I've been getting, say, 2 calls every week from Maruti, which is a very verified Truecaller call, green box and everything else. And it's an IVR. So the moment I pick it up, it simply says that, hi, your car service is due on so and so date. If you want to book it, press 1. Or if you want us to call later, press 2. That's all. And they'll call you every 3 days. If you want, if you answer and give them a consent, then of course the next calls will be different. But if you don't, then they'll give you a follow-up call every 3 days or 4 days, whatsoever. But all these different methods of engagement are something that you should always think of. It may not be very evident on day one when you are trying to fix your marketing strategy, but then do a little bit of research and you'll realize that WhatsApp, calling, emails, and then website and ads are all these verticals that you can get into. Over to you now, Kancha.
I think we've already discussed in terms of the innovations, in terms of the channel, but what also makes it very, very important, right, is also studying on your data and the strategy framework. And there's a very simple strategy framework that we've created here for you, where you need to make sure that your audience, you already understand your customers, right? So you need to bifurcate them in terms of your high engagers, medium engagers, and you can have complex recency frequency matrix created where you can actually understand higher openers, clickers, people who tend to shop a specific category, people who tend to shop from a different frequency point of view. But you need to make sure that you analyze all of this data to bifurcate or segment customer in different buckets. First, that remains the first and the foremost step for any strategic framework when it comes to communication. Number two would be the content which goes to customer. Now, either you can see, I mean, it's the most simplistic content, right? You need to tell them there is Diwali, there is a shopping spree, you want to spend and you want to shop and we want to sell. But we have to get creative here. And that creativity needs to be mapped with the amount of attention a customer will give us, right? Because right from the start, if you go ahead and send them limited time offer, it doesn't match with the frequency of the customer because they know Diwali tak to chalega hi campaign, right? Everybody knows that. So they will not fall into that trap. But the idea here is progressively building on that FOMO. There has to be a creative storytelling that needs to happen. Maybe introduce a character in your content, maybe introduce a new campaign altogether, maybe a brand ambassador for a high funded project, or rather a simple localized content with a initiative or a message. So having a strong story or a content strategy also matters a lot because that is what will differentiate you from anybody else in the market. And of course, your content strategy will also include your offers, right? If you want to upsell, cross sell better, give a customer a reason on why they should purchase from you, that will come in the content and not the channel strategy, because content decides the product level offers as well. And of course, innovations is what we've already covered, but go all out in terms of using interactive channels, WhatsApp, voice as your communication channels to create these content, achieve this in your strategy. I
Akansha, a
have
couple of more things on this particular slide now for people to notice is when we talk about audience, right, guys? So you might not identify very easily with the second point written, which is openers and clickers segmentation, right? What this basically means is everybody who has opened your message, be it on WhatsApp or email whatsoever, almost all the platforms, be it Netcore that you use, or My Operator or Heyo's platform for your voice broadcasting, you can get this information to a very nice level, that who has opened it and then who has clicked on the links given. Why this audience is one of your most potent data sets is because they at least went one or two steps into your the entire journey, right? So instead of just noting, okay, how many were delivered and then counting, okay, if they were not delivered, I'll send them again and I'll then try to cover 100% of my audience. Focus on this audience more that has opened your messages in the past, and the messages or the audience that has clicked on those. That's one more layer, right? These are the segments which will be the most potent when it comes to it. Also, in terms of audience, you need to realize that not just the people who are in your lead section, or maybe if you have got a third party data or something like that, but the people that you meet across events. I'm assuming most of the people who are here from metro cities, they have been to some or the other event, right? When we go to an event, we collect almost, if not more, on a good day, 30 to 50 odd leads. All that data should be with you for these days, because on these days you can engage with them. There is no other reason for you to text them beyond the certain follow-up of that event. But then on other days like Diwali sales or any other festive season, you can actually use that data. That is one thing. In terms of content, something that I wanted to highlight, something that we use at Heyo is be very clear who you want to target and what sort of person or what sort of persona they have. So for my two brands that I take care of marketing for, My Operator is something that is opted for or purchased by enterprise level people, right? These are people who really don't have time for any sort of bullcrap. They don't want to have your nice storytelling and characters and cartoony stuff. They don't want it. They are some senior professionals at some IT companies or whatsoever, large manufacturing or D2C companies, but they don't want all of that fluff. They just want a very concise message. So prepare that content accordingly. However, if you're selling a dress, maybe, and that is for a very B2C sort of audience, there you should actually do what Akansha said. Put in a character, try to build a story. It's okay if you use a little longer messages, but to convey a little drama in the picture. Give that drama where it is needed. Do not give that drama where it is not needed. That is where we as marketers try to emphasize on for everybody who is listening कि a audience बहुत clearly segment कर लो, know who you are sending it to, and then accordingly personalize that content, not just with their name and writing that variable dear so and so person, but
Yeah.
actually what you're sending them in terms of the entire body copy.
Exactly. I
Sanadh,
mean,
there's a just to interrupt. So like, there's a question from Aditya for you, I think. So there's something about WhatsApp report on Heyo. Can you see the chat?
These reports are well. See, Aditya, what I'll do is if this is something that I can show you after the call, I can get on a call with you and show you how to look at those reports and where to find them. That will be really helpful. Okay. So this is a very app specific question. I think if there is anything on the strategy level, we can talk in this webinar. Otherwise, yes, I'll take your contact from Mithil and I'll arrange a call back for you. Yeah, let's go on.
super. And as you know, someone mentioned, the where to give the offer, where not to give the offer matters a lot, right? Or where you want to create the drama, where you do not want to matters a lot. And that is where you can develop your content strategy, your entire focus for the festive season accordingly. Have a proper calendar, have your build that anticipation. And phase one should be to make sure you see your active customers are already buying from you. If they are buying from you in the non-festive season, तो festive season में भी खरीदेंगे ही, मतलब that is a given, right? Now, to them, you should figure out how do I increase the pocket size, or how do I make sure I bundle or send them more, and give them a better delight, right? But it's an enormously good opportunity to go and actually reach out to your dormant customer base, someone who's not purchased from you. And of course, for every industry, the definition of dormant will be different. For some of you it could be 2 months, for some of you it could be 6 months, for some of you it could be a different time frame. But there is a dormant customer base which exists with all of us. This is an amazing time to revive that customer by giving them an exclusive offer, telling them what is coming up. Now, these days, there is a pre-campaign for the sale reveal also, right? And you need to build that hype amongst your customer, because that is what is needed to get those dormant customers back to life. If you tell them, you know what, you send them a communication saying there's a sale going on right now for next 3 days, they might just read it off. But if you tell them, you know what, there's a sale which is coming up, and then you keep on in a very personalized fashion going back to them with that message again and again, of course in a very strategic way, it makes sure that they are understanding. And it could be multiple creative ways. You could have a countdown timer, you could have a first offer reveal, or an early bird offer that there is, or a category discount. Now, if you understand that Akanksha from 6 months back went ahead and bought a hair care shampoo, sulfate free shampoo from you, and that is her category of interest, that's what she's purchased 2 to 3 times, but she did not come back, this would be an amazing time to tell that she should restock for this festive season. And there is a limited time offer only on that particular loyal shampoo which she would want to buy. Now, that is an offer which I cannot refuse, right? I would want to go back to it. And that is the best time that you should create a hype, and that could be included in the phase one of your category or suggestion. Phase two, right, which is your Diwali has started, or your Diwali period is almost there. And it could be let's say a 2 months, 1.5, 31 to 45 days campaign, which you can actually plan for the entire 2 months. But then phase two is making sure when everybody is aware, maximize your conversions and your final engagement, because that's what matters a lot. So your offer launch, your daily deals, which needs to be personalized, and they all need to build an urgency amongst your customers because, hey, it's limited time offers, right? Simplistic cart abandonment emails also have to be extremely personalized. You can personalize it with a recommendation, with a GIF, a carousel, a game inside your content. But the idea here remains nothing basic will work in this festive season because everyone is giving or putting their best game on, and you can't send the most basic thing, right? And you have to get creative in terms of the last minute guides and gifts as well. But these were certain strategies on how you can go about the entire festive season. Now, what I have is ideally certain best practices in terms of, let's say, the templates that you have. You need to make sure that your CTAs are compelling enough because you can't have a simplistic CTA saying purchase now or an offer or something like that, but rather claim now, or rather, and these are just simple examples, but depending on your industry, get creative on the compelling CTAs, and you make sure that you make the highest on your UGC, which is your user generated content. So be it in terms of creating a reel or maybe a review, giving a customer an offer to give a better social media review or a post to you, or recommending two friends to purchase from you, right? This could be the best time to get use of. And we all can never forget, right? The campaign which Google Pay did like last to last year, where we were collecting diyas or we were collecting those lamps, right? Now we used Google Pay day in and day out, but they leveraged the entire concept of user generated content by making us collect those diyas, lamps, rangolis all across our ways, and that became a reason for us to speak about that campaign across everywhere, right? So the idea here is go wild and get creative as much as possible. And of course, you make sure that you're able to drill down on some of the strategies such as the best time, the best frequency, and this is not just limited to emails, but rather every channel that you're reaching out to your customer with. Make sure that you're able to focus on the time, which day, what time. Every customer might have different time and strategies, and that is where you leverage the power of AI, data, statistics to understand your high clickers, how high openers, most responsive time. All of this homework needs to be in place before the Diwali strategy is created, because you can't be sitting on the day of Diwali to understanding when to send the message, right? So all of that needs to be completely done and dusted so that you're right there on the spot. But yeah, I think that's all from me in terms of the content and the strategy that I had along with Sanadh for you in store today. But uh, yeah, Sanadh, you want to add something, or maybe we can move ahead with some questions?
I think we already have a question, so and given the time constraints, let's take the questions directly.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I think one
Um,
question there.
Yeah, I'll just read it out from the chat. So, when we're engaged in selling a high-ticket product that is customized to its core, will the strategy work, or will we just need to keep the customer updated since it's mostly about delivering on time? Since nobody else is providing that in this time window, for example, buying a home temple a few days before. So it's essentially about products which are high ticket but low volume. So how would the strategy work in that case?
Can this person, worker is the name? I really don't know what name is it, but can you just tell us what industry are you from? Is it a SaaS product? Is it a physical product that you're talking about? Physical product.
Physical.
Okay, so how I would have gone about doing this is, see, for us, for this product that you're talking about, customization is your USP. Your main idea is, hey, we can give you customized product in X time. So if you're giving a home temple example, maybe, right? Let's just say to create a customized mandir for home, you need around 2 to 3 days. And then the delivery radius, say if the delivery is within Delhi itself, you are also based in Delhi, the person is also based in Delhi, वो आपका time एक दिन का और लगता है, right? So that is what you should start with in terms of your message and content, that get your customized temple delivered right before Diwali or in just 3 days. Bring those two things together, that customization, which is something that people think is going to take a lot of time, is going to happen in a very small period. So yes, as you mentioned, convey time and content. Of course, convey time and content. That is a second USP. That hey, I can customize it and then I can make it really, really fast. Right. That is what will hook most people because that is where they see the contradictions. So a little philosophically or psychologically speaking, rather, if you give a contradiction in your message and you make people question, how is this even possible? They will reply to you because they'll be like, you're joking. Nahi ho sakta, right? And don't ask them to directly purchase something because it's a customized thing, right? They will want to give an opinion. So don't ask them or don't give them a CTA purchase now. Rather, if it is I'm assuming if it's a counseling type of product where you have to ask them for the dimensions and all, so get on a call. Something as simple as get on a call, so that they're open. Ki, haan, theek hai, if I click this button, I will be able to initiate a call. I'll be able to talk to this person. This is my requirement. Can you get it delivered or not? So that is what I feel should be done.
And also, just to add, right, completely agree to that, Sanadh. And I think because it's also a product that needs time to be built, right, and also a high ticket size, it requires a more personalized approach. I think voice becomes a more important and more specific channel here, and even the time, right? You cannot, the strategy which was shown today, right, still started, let's say, 30 days prior or 15 days prior to the Diwali campaign. I could order clothes 2 weeks before Diwali for Diwali, right? But I cannot order my mandir 1 week back. That process needs to start a bit more earlier, maybe 2 months early, right? So you need to start reaching out to your customers maybe in a bucket of 4 to 3 months before, telling them that something customized, something so specific will be built for you, and this requires time, right? So you should maybe use your niche and your the fact that it's, let's say, a handmade, or fact that it is completely customized to the customer. Maybe the time also needs to be very before, right? It cannot be like 1, 2, 3 weeks back.
Totally. And he himself has mentioned that call is important. I'll just add something here in terms of call. For everyone here who is trying to sell something that requires some level of discussion with you, right? Calling is the medium that we have so far realized eventually works. So you can try solving all your basic queries on WhatsApp chat with a customer support guy, right? Or when you have a problem on the Swiggy delivery agent, you get on a chat with them that, hey, okay, my food was not delivered, it was delivered hot, stale, whatsoever, right? But when you really want to explain them something, you need to have an option for call. You need to give them an opportunity. If you want to talk to us over a call, we'll not call you, we'll not spam you. But if you want to talk to us over a call, click this button or here's the number, call us, we'll be able to discuss at large. So that is the idea in terms of customized products. There is one more question from Jasmine, I think, Mithun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kanksha, you can just take that.
Yeah. Any example of successful WhatsApp marketing for SaaS products? Jasmine, ideally, WhatsApp marketing here could be very important because you can actually replicate everything that is on your website on a WhatsApp body, right? Right, in terms of understanding the features. If you're, I'm assuming that you want to sell, the question is you want to sell or understand about a SaaS product, such as, let's say, a Heyo or a Netcore, trying to reach out to their customer on WhatsApp. Is that the correct example that you're looking at? Just reiterating the question before I answer.
No, say for example, I have a SaaS product. I have, to be honest, never come across anybody's, doing a WhatsApp marketing even in awareness stage. Click to WhatsApp. Yes, I have seen a lot of that from, say, Instagram or from your website. But what if you have to like start from scratch? That's an example that I've never seen.
Start
Does
from
it happen? Like, does it happen? Like, you reach out to
happen.
leads from WhatsApp?
It does happen. Actually, you mind if I take this one for a
yeah,
moment?
yes.
So Jasmine, I can say this with confidence that this happens because all three of us, or rather three brands which are hosting this session today, be it Netcore or My Operator or Heyo Phone, are essentially SaaS brands. And yes, we do market ourselves from scratch, as you mentioned, over WhatsApp. So how we usually do it is, say you have generated a lead, and now that lead is in your pool, you have the number, right? Now that is where you start sending them messages. If it is already in discussion with an agent, not those leads, but say a lead that has gone cold, tried contacting them and then they did not pick up, right? So this particular lead, they get a WhatsApp text from our side, say from Heyo phone, that hey, this you tried looking for, or you tried signing up on our platform, but you couldn't get to a demo because you already know those stages. The tracking is so good these days that you can get to know if the person signed up, took a demo, spoke to an agent, did not speak to an agent. Wherever they left it off, pick it up from there. That, hey, you spoke to our agent but could not make up your mind. Let us help you decide on your purchase of whatever product. Then you can give those CTA buttons at the bottom. Speak to an agent, set up a demo, right? If they have not taken a demo already, give them that option to take a demo. If they have already taken a demo, then probably ask them to set up call with an agent to discuss further or discuss, say, pricing. If all of that has happened in certain cases with Heyo phone, where there are users who subscribed with us, and then later on, after say 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they left, they did not subscribe back. But again, I'm in my Diwali period, I have a better pricing available probably for them. Of course, the product has been upgraded so far. So I send them a notification that did you try out the new IVR plus WhatsApp on Heyo phone, for example, right? Or did you try the new Truecaller verification on Heyo phone? That is what will grab the hook that, hey, I have heard about this, I know this product, and they have launched something new. So largely, when it comes to WhatsApp marketing for these products, it is good for all this retargeting. It is good for your abandoned cart messages, as we usually like to put it, that somebody was mid journey and you want to grab their attention back and try to close those clients. Or if somebody has simply just generated a lead with you and they have still not spoken to an agent, then ask them to set up a call or set up a demo. All of that is super easy with WhatsApp. It's probably the easiest way to get their attention and get a reply from them.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Anything to add, Akansha, for sure? Please go ahead. How you do it at Netcore?
Yeah, ideally, I think it remains most of it remains the same. From scratch, you're obviously very right. Not just that in terms of taking rating and reviews from the customer, telling them about a specific webinar or a new offer, a new feature update which has come, making sure you personalize and send product updates, right? All of those ideally tends to go on WhatsApp. Customer success stories, right? Very easy to consume on WhatsApp itself, which have a very high success rate for that matter. So all of that makes it very important for B2B brands to interestingly consume content, because if you have liked, or a SaaS product is a high decision making product, right? So you need a feature comparison, or you need to read like 3 success stories with the product to buy it. It's way more complicated a decision than buying a t-shirt, right? So you need that much level of convincing, and all of that can today happen on WhatsApp. It sort of makes it very easy for our buyers to consume the content on the go. Like today, usual approach is send an email, send a simple, or rather a long form of content. But we live in a world of shorter span of people and short form of content. And that is where WhatsApp has its mark.
Totally.
Yeah, I think
Understood.
Akanksha
Thank
Manash
you.
also has a question.
So will there be a CRM feature coming up or Shopify integration? Is this a...
Manash will ask this question verbally only.
Sorry?
I'm saying Manash was about to ask his question verbally itself. He did not write it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
Manav.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. So basically, a very use case based scenario that I want to bring in. So we launched a loungewear and innerwear brand very recently on 1st of October this year, right? So what is really happening is, so we have basically created 3 segment of campaigns. So one of them is for men, one of them is for women, and we also have a kids section. So the kids section basically age grouping between 5 to 10 years. The women and the men campaign are doing really, really well. and we see a lot of conversions. And we have, while designing the campaign for the kids, we went by the very traditional approach that kids don't buy. It's the parents who are making the purchase. So that is the psychology that we have applied. But somewhere I feel there is less interaction versus the other two campaigns that we have going on right now. And in terms, and we can see that in terms of sales, because that's very slow versus the men and women are really doing well. So I am just trying to understand this from your experience and the kind of evolving market that we have around. Is it something that we have gone too conventional in terms of making this campaign, thinking, oh, kids might not even interact with what we are going to publish? Maybe it's going to be their parents who are going to be the decider. But at the same time, what I want to also understand is, you spoke about the channel by which a purchase can happen. Like, it is very different from audience to audience. So somewhere a WhatsApp might suit a certain amount of, or a certain strata of audience, but not may apply for anyone else. So what do you suggest is going to be a different route for us to, if you want to go and try that, these are the avenues you should maybe try, explore, and see how things can work out in a better format for us?
So ideally, Manash, it could be subjective in terms of what channels are already getting used. We need to study the demographic better in terms of where are they more interactive. As you mentioned, your major demographic remains, let's say, male, female as a category. And in that also, we need to see that for the children's category, where the purchases are coming more from, right? I don't want to assume that it is from female category or male category, but that needs a understanding there. We will, in fact, also, and what we do in such scenarios, right, it can change for every brand. And that's why a machine learning model or an AI sort of helps in such a way, because it sort of tells you what is the most preferred channel of the customer. Because even in female as a demographic, the preferred channel could change, right? For me, it could be WhatsApp, but I 100% know that my mother finds that channel too intrusive to shop on. And that's why she prefers emails, right? Or rather, she prefers a push notification or rather an app, but she stays away from WhatsApp as a channel. So it could be a very individual level of approach. In a scenario like yours, I would suggest, if in case a machine learning model still doesn't exist, a simple statistical model to tell you which channel is working the best in terms of the response rate, right? Conversion and response. And then you can change it accordingly. I would not say a simple segmentation like male, female, age would work here. It's a bit more complicated, because as we all know, that let's say for kids category, somebody else is making the decision. Now, what's the frequency of it? Maybe that would matter a lot, right? What would be the offer? That would matter a lot. Replenishment might matter in some of the scenarios as well, right? Creating a niche or a USP would matter a lot, because if I am purchasing for my kid, I would rather need to know that why you and why not someone else. And if it is you, if you are communicating that message to me on WhatsApp, are you just sending me the offer, or rather you're sending me a testimonial, or rather a happy review of a customer, right? Something like that. So it will be a combination of all of this. The answer to this is quite sort of complex, but yeah, I hope I could make some sense out of it.
Let me just ask you something, Manash, before I even add my peace of mind to this. How do you identify parents? Because it is easier for us to identify a tennis player on Instagram. Okay, the demographics can be easily shortlisted. How are you identifying parents on performance marketing channels?
So that's where the challenge is, because that's the most challenging part, right? Because nobody is going to lay out and say that, hey, I'm a parent, right? So you will have to go very generic in terms of, so we had to just identify and understand what age group can probably people be married at, and then sort that, create that strata. And then we also had to differentiate by if there are levels of interaction in terms of what they are shopping and what kind of shopping or interactions that they are having. In terms of their daily, purchases, etc., that they're doing. But so very generic as of now, and probably we want to drill down a little more to understand how can we make it more narrowed and we make it more specific? Because identifying, as you said, parents is not the easy way out here. So yeah.
See, I'll tell you a few things that come to my mind if I were to, if I was on your marketing team and you would have asked me, Sanadh, kuch karo yaar, and this is not working. A few things that would have come to my mind was one, let's just figure out if it is a mass product that say all parents of a certain age group, if you are a regular middle class new parent, you have a different mindset that you really don't care about jockey because you yourself don't wear jockey, as you mentioned, right? What are they purchasing? So if these men and women who are also parents, which you cannot identify directly, but you just assume that somebody beyond the age of 23 can be a parent, may not be a parent, by 25, 26, more chance, by between 28 to 35, 40, of course, by default, beyond 28, there is a very highly likely chance that there could be a parent, right? Now, their own consumption patterns would matter. If they themselves buy jockey and you are a brand that is, say, a little costlier than other kids innerwear brands, then you have to target those sort of parents. Because somebody who wears a jockey innerwear is happy to give their kid your brand's innerwear, right? Otherwise, who themselves wears, say, a Rupa John or something like that, which is half the price of a jockey, they would never go for their kids to do this. They are rather dictated by their grandmothers and so on, who are still not very fond of huggies on their children's asses throughout the day. They are like, don't put this, leave the child alone, use cloth for that matter. They are more dictated by their grandmothers and so on. That is one thing that you need to check for. So you do this, what demographic mein add kar do, maybe that will help you. One thing. Secondly, if it is between 5 to 10, as much as I hate to say it, these kids are accessing YouTube, right? And more often than not, the YouTube premium subscription these days is not as high. So in most cases, kids are also seeing those ads. Now, if you are assuming that kids are using YouTube, in my household, 5 to 10 wale, they are fond of YouTube. They know everything on YouTube, how to do what, right? So try running those ads for them, show them something that is interesting for kids in terms of their next innerwear, right? We all used to, I'm sure we all have seen those Colgate ke small toothbrushes that used to come. At least I used to be fascinated. I used to beg my parents to give me that panda wala toothbrush or something like this. A stupid toothpaste with a panda branding, which is just a plain toothpaste. But for a kid, I was like, wow, I saw it on TV. I want it, right? So because TV is now maybe out of the question, higher budgets and whatnot, YouTube is easy. So make an ad that might appeal to a kid as well. Gone are the days where only parents are purchasing. Now, a 5 years plus kid is accessing YouTube and he can very well go ahead and, Mama, see this. This is what I want. He may not know if it's called an underwear or what, but he knows I want this, which has a panda on it. End of story, right? So that is something that you can do. So maybe run ads for parents, but then also create something that would appeal to kids. Lastly, as Akansha said, WhatsApp and maybe offers and all, because you're a new brand, might not matter. You might not also want to place your brand as a brand that offers, oh, it's a 500 rupee underwear, but we are giving it at 200 rupees only. That creates an image in the minds of your actual buyer that these guys are eventually cheap. They are, if there's somebody selling it at 200, they are still profiting, right? It's a stupid thing to not. So then that would mean they are anyway selling at 150 rupees ka innerwear at 200 and 500 to likhne ke liye tha. Don't do that. Sell it at a higher price point only. Don't give that offer. Rather show them value. Maybe give them testimonials. For, I don't have a kid yet, but if I were to suggest something for my niece and nephew, I would actually see if couple of my friends of my age group have actually used it, or maybe a video of somebody saying that, hey, this is actually better in so and so form and way and shape than my other products. That is what will matter most. For a parent, I think the care for the kid is first, then comes the price based on whatever they purchase, and then lastly offers and all matter. But bacche ke liye na is what I feel, because I have elder brothers who are now parents. They really don't care about it. For pets and for kids, people don't care about the cost. Okay? If your pet wants to eat a particular brand biscuit which is costlier than their monthly budget, they'll bloody go for it. Because my dog has to get the best stuff. Similarly for kids. A very poor comparison, but unfortunately that is how it is. So these are few things that I can suggest, man.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
think this was great. Now, I think I'll just add one more thing to what Sanad said. So, like you said, you're still figuring out how you want to segregate and like find out these parents, right? One thing that I fell victim to myself is look at location. Because a lot of places, people only give houses to families and people only give houses to like not bachelors, basically. And you can easily tell from a location if it's like a posh location or if it's like, a decent location. That can really help you figure out the kind of income range and the kind of family size that they're in. But yeah, that's just one more point that I was thinking about. Great session, guys. If any of you could turn on your camera so we could see your face one last time, that'll be great. But yeah, it was great to have you guys over here. Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you, Sana, for taking out the time to really teach us a lot about this. I personally learned a lot of new stuff also, which I hope that I can use later on. But yeah, I quickly actually want to take one photo. Or people are already dropping, but if anyone can turn on their cameras, I'd love to take a quick photo with everyone, just so we can, remember this moment. But yeah, a little bit about us also before we leave. So I think Sanat can talk about Heyo a little bit before we leave, but just from my side. So as you can see the logos over here, so Netcore for Startups is the startup program for Netcore, and Akanksha talked about Netcore. And what we do at Netcore for Startups is essentially help brands like you who are in the D2C space or in the B2C space to perform better by giving credits to use Netcore, by giving mentorship through people like Sanad and Akanksha who are experts in their field and can help you on a one-on-one basis, and extended networks with kind of partners that we have, and events such as this, which sometimes we host exclusively, sometimes we host in person. And one of those properties is also called Profit Growth Academy that you can see over here. That is where we select about 25 to 30 brands, very exclusive, very selective process we have for that. And these brands basically get the utmost attention that we have. And these guys will basically be sort of trained by us and given all the resources that we can provide. And even if you need a connect, we will help you get that connect. So that's just a bit from my side. Sanant can take up Heyo now, and I think that'll be the end of the day then.
Yep. Thanks, Mitchell. I think for those people who have stayed so far, just a word on Heyo and My Operator as these products. So Heyo is basically a mobile app that gives you a virtual number, a smart number without a SIM card that you can share with your staff. And on this number, you will have unlimited calling. You have basic IVR setup. You can also have WhatsApp campaigns and WhatsApp chats within the same application on the same virtual number. So the idea is that people who are starting out a business, say Manash like you, or people who already have an established business, but they want a branded number. They want to move on from multiple phone numbers which cannot be tracked and you won't know what people are talking, to a singular number for the entire brand. What it does is basically it helps your customer have just one number. So instead of calling three different numbers written on a website or on a business card, it's great for me if I just call one person and then press one or two and talk to the right department, right? So even you would want that to happen when you're calling customer support or some other brand for anything. So that is what we offer. And on top of that, yes, WhatsApp is one of the suites that both Netcore and HeyoPhone offer at different levels. So for if you are a smaller brand, just want to get started with WhatsApp Business API, definitely look at HeyoPhone. If you are a larger brand and you want to explore all the possibilities of WhatsApp Business API, email marketing, even voice commerce at some point, because Netcore and MyOperator are partners, that is where you can definitely go on to Netcore and try out all of that. That's all from my side. I'm dropping in my LinkedIn though. So anybody who wishes to connect beyond this can definitely drop me an invite.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a great evening. We'll see you all around. Hope to see you all at next and future events also. Thank you.